almost afternoon. Oh. So we're gonna do some painting. I seem to get some stuff accomplished when I do these, so if nothing else, they're good for that.
But yeah,
So
I got a bunch of things I've been working on. A couple character miniatures. I got this guy here. This is from Crooked Dice Games. This is their
basically based on
the character from the movie Krull. They have a bunch of
movie tie-in miniatures. So I got this guy for to use in a
Dragon Slayer
RPG game.
This is I modified him a little bit.
Like that. He did have like a pitchfork. I didn't like that, so I gave him a halberd instead and put a sword on his back. He's going to be
a Cyclopsman fighter.
And then I'm working on this guy. So I'll let him fall off the stand. This is
a Reaper miniature. This is
that one's going to be for the Dragon Slayer game that I'm going to play in. My son's going to run starting this week.
So let's start working on this guy.
He's sitting on the bench for a while. Figured I'd put some paint on him. This is some old Vallejo game color paint when I graduated
from Games Workshop paint,
which I still use, but back in the day
I hated the Games Workshop pots.
So I ended up getting the Vallejo, actually the whole game color line. I bought the entire line in one shot at the time. It was a lot of paint. I still have a lot of it, and it's still
good.
Working on him last couple days.
Just trying
to make some progress. He's part of a
Kickstarter.
Got a bunch of dragons in that
one.
Hey, how you doing, Dungeon Minister? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in.
Just trying to do some painting today.
Like I said earlier, if nothing else, just sitting here rambling on, but it keeps me at the table longer, so
I get to get more stuff accomplished. I've painted a few dragons now, but I can remember when I found it super intimidating to paint dragons.
Thanks. Yep, this is from Reaper. This is one of their Bones dragons. I think it's from, I want to say it was from their Bones 5 Kickstarter. I'm not sure though. I backed that one. I backed a couple of their
Kickstarters.
Although the last one wasn't that...
I don't know. In my opinion, it wasn't that great. At least it wasn't for me. Just didn't have miniatures I was looking for. So I didn't back that one very hard.
Make some nice miniatures.
So I really like their some of the character miniatures they've been doing lately out of the
Dungeon Dweller line, or some of the other ones. It's a little bit confusing because they kind of
blend together. Dungeon Dweller line was
actually an old line that they, I think, got the rights to, and they had it was a separate
lineup. It still
is, but um, initially it was all metal miniatures, and now I think it's all like the bones material,
whatever the heck it is.
there it is. Although someone in the last stream I did, I think it was Cal, said that they don't
Siocast
miniatures, but I was reading on their website that they do.
They do have Siocast miniatures. I can tell you what that is. I think it's just, well, I don't even want to comment on it.
I don't know what it really is. I want to say it's repurposed material. Oh, my volume? Maybe it's because I'm talking loud. I'm trying to use this mic thing here to get it better, but let me know if it gets worse or not. I was kind of talking to myself too, which probably isn't the best radio voice. I'm out of practice using my radio voice. In my previous
life, I had to use it. Huh, that's weird. Technology is not my
friend. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I'm a firm believer that old John McClane was correct, and technology peaked with frozen pizza. Probably at some point, if I'm just going to keep doing live streams, which I enjoy doing so far. I mean, it's only my third one, so I'm hardly
a salty veteran, but I
probably ought to get like some sort of
real setup for it. I'm just
using my phone and this mic that I bought off Amazon, so I'm sure there's
way better setups I could
be using. But I had a volume complaint about my first one, and it was without the mic, and then I did a live stream last week, and nobody said anything about the volume, so I assumed that it was okay. So maybe it's just something that's, like you said, in the system.
And just unpredictable. I was talking to a
friend of mine that has far more experience with this than I do, and he was, I was asking him about mics, actually, for the iPhone, and he said the iPhone actually has pretty good built-in software for it in the mic, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't know anything about it. Technology is not my strong suit. Oh. Well, if you do pick up weird sounds, there is construction going on outside my house, so I don't know if that's it or not, but they're putting in a sidewalk. I think, at least I think that's what they're doing. You must be gearing up for Claricon. I wish I could get up there. I'd love to come up to that. I just started going to conventions actually for the first time
last year.
So I've only been to two. But I went to
ShireCon, which is
in Connecticut, and then I went to Central New York Con this year in up near Utica,
New York. That was the
first year for that con. It was really, really, really good.
I had a great time.
Oh, nice. Do you get? Because I know you play Beckme with your family and stuff, which is awesome. Do you get like a smorgasbord, like of different era of games, like more modern stuff, or is it mostly older school games, or what do they play up there? gonna do to these? The ones I've been to have been mostly old school games. Although there are some modern games, like a Central New York Con. Somebody ran the new Daggerheart game by Critical Role. He had a full table. Which is good. They
That was a lot of old school
games though.
Mostly, I played Castle Crusades.
Played Dragon Slayer, and I played, well, not all old school because I played Fallout RPG too. So I got 3 games in. Oh, nice. Shadow Dark's a fun game. I play that on Friday nights. I have a Friday night group that we're playing that currently. Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah, I'm actually supposed to
Play that next month, but I gotta actually miss it, unfortunately. But
that's a great game.
even though I grew up playing D&D, Call of Cthulhu is probably my favorite. Overall, probably my favorite RPG. I started playing that
During the pandemic,
actually. We played in a couple one-shots, and then we did the
Mass of
LRTEP campaign, which took us about a year to finish, playing every Saturday night online. Hardy Boys. Nice. Yeah, I'm lucky that I have enough people in my area that in groups
that I'm in now that
we do a bunch of different things. Like my Friday night group. Right now we're playing Shadow Dark, but we've played a lot of Dragonbane, which is a really good game. And probably one of my favorite fantasy RPGs actually is Dragonbane. Yeah, same. We did the whole pandemic thing because we couldn't do anything else, and then we we had ongoing campaigns that we brought into the online sphere, and then we finished them out there. So we ended up playing like four years at least of online stuff, and they finally ended this year, and we just discontinued them. The only real bummer to that was my buddy that played with us that lives in Pennsylvania. I'm in Maine. Whoops. So we don't get to play with him as much. There has been some talk of starting an online thing. I just don't know if I'd join back into it. After all that time, I'm really kind of burnt out of online.
oh, my volume.
I don't know what the heck to do. What is this? Not that. That shuts my mic off.
Weird.
That's kind of a bummer. Oh, that's weird. My internet, I have good internet here, but YouTube lately with my internet has been very weird. Like, won't load, and I can go to any other web page and it loads fine, but then YouTube just sits there and spins. That happens. I notice it on Wednesday nights. I try to watch Diversity Dragons live stream on my way home from the gym, or listen to it, and I'll listen to it for a little bit, and then I lose YouTube. Like it just keeps
resetting, and it even does that
here at the house. So I don't know what the deal is. One of my friends does a lot of live streams. He recommended that I look at the Restream
app.
I think you got to pay for it, but it's not really a lot of money. It's cheaper than Zoom. Cause I got
rid of all that when
I got rid of my Zoom account and everything, so I just don't play online anymore. So it wasn't worth keeping. Figure out where certain scales begin and others end. StreamYard too. I can't. I might actually be mixing those up too. I'll have to get some clarification. Like I said, I'm probably gonna have to get a dedicated setup or something. I don't even know how to begin with that, but yeah, that's good though. It's good to have some variety of games. Like I was saying, I have that here. I'm lucky. My Friday night group, we play different games. My Thursday night group too. Um, we play different games. Like I just got done running some Dragonbane. I ran a Dragonbane adventure. We're gonna play the Dragon Slayer RPG next. We have some DCC lined up. We rotate GMs, so we run about, try to average like 4 to 6 sessions, and then we switch. So, and always with the option, if we like it, we can come back to it. So, but that's been really good because I have like most people, I guess, that have been in the hobby for a little bit. I have like a ton of games, and I'd like to, I want to do something with them, but sometimes you run into, really, for us, it's just time. We have people that are willing to try them, and even people that are willing to run them too.
Um,
They, yeah, we played some Mutiny Zero. We played an old second edition Ravenloft adventure, but we used Castles and Crusades. Um, so yeah, we got a pretty good thing going on our Thursday night group. My regular game is Castle Crusades, which I just ran last Saturday, which was good. How many how many people do you get at Claricon? Like on average, this is what your
third year doing it?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's good. It's good. It's like the best way I describe it is Cast Crusades is like playing advanced Dungeons and Dragons, but with a slightly better rule set. Now that'll probably aggravate some people that played AD&D. I played AD&D mostly. I played some. I did start with Beckme, and then we went to AD&D, and then third edition because
We kind of bought.
into. Oh, nice, nice. I like I said, I've only been to two. I went to ShireCon, and that was like 100 something people, and Central New York was 202. Um, but it was a decent size. I've had the opportunity because a real good friend of mine owns the local gaming store. I've had the opportunity to go with him to like Gen Con, and more to. I didn't go just because I was still working then. It was before I retired, and
It,
like a bucket list item would be cool, but the crowd, like, there's just too many people. Like, it would be good for a little bit, and then I'd be done with it. So, I'd much rather go to these smaller conventions. So, um, yeah, I think those appeal to me a lot more than a crowd of thousands of people. I got invited down to Page, which is in Philadelphia. That's about last year. I think it was like, or this year, I should say. They've already had it. I got invited for next year. It's about 2,000 people they had this year, and I would have gone, but I drive, so it's about an 8-hour drive, which that doesn't bother me because I've driven to Pennsylvania a few times because my son went to school there for a year.
and
Yeah, it's a lot of people, but it's also in January, so I did have no desire to make that drive in January, so that won't happen. Right now, the ShireCon, which is coming up, the end of September. I'm going to that, and then I'm already planning on going to Central New York in June of next year.
But maybe do some other ones.
Depends too. I mean, um, it's it costs money to go, and time I have plenty of. Money, none of us have an abundance of that, so got to prioritize, I guess. But yeah, Claricon sounds fun actually. I think I Googled it, Google mapped it. Like, obviously wasn't going to drive, but actually I probably considered it. And then I was like, oh, maybe that one, um, definitely one I would like to attend if I could. I'd rather do that than
one of the big ones.
I think the only other like kind of big, I'm sure that it's big, that I would like to go to is I wouldn't mind going to like ReaperCon. Oh, really? Hmm. Well, now you got me thinking. Maybe I can
Plan
do
that. I probably couldn't do it
this year, but
I could do it next year if it's not too far.
yeah, Reaper Miniatures, they put it on, and it's down in Texas, and I mean they put on there's different like classes and stuff you can go to, and one of the I think they still do it. One of the fun events that they do is they have like a kit bashing thing, and what they do is they have this big tables, and they just come in with like bones miniatures, and they just fill them, and you can chop and hack away and make your own whatever to your heart's content, I guess. That sounded like a fun event. And then they have like some pro painters and stuff doing things. They even run games because now they're coming out with their own role playing game. It's in development. Um, yeah, so there would be a lot of fun classes, like if you were looking for some like technical instruction, I think, um, and I think just some fun stuff too. But that one I would like to do. That's on my bucket list. Um, I always wanted to go to GaryCon, but that's really big now, and it's more. I mean, they have plenty. I have actually made some friends, a group of friends that go, so that it would be fun. But it's a ways. I'd have to fly there, and yeah. So unless again, it all costs money. So I think if I had to choose between the two, I would go to ReaperCon instead, just just to get
Down there because
I'm a
I
big fan of Reaper miniatures.
actually
Finished up 3 Reaper miniatures recently. I finished up this one here. This is
like one of their giants.
I look at it as a Firbolg giant um, because their giants in scale tend to be a little bit smaller than like the
Games describe them.
but I like this one. It has a companion that I haven't painted yet, but I finished that one up, and then I finished this guy up, this elf. This is actually the second time I painted this guy. I painted the metal version up. This is a bones miniature. I painted a metal one up that I really liked. I was using it as my character in the Ravenloft game we played in, and then I sold it. Somebody saw a picture of it, wanted to buy it, and then I painted up this dwarf, like a dwarven rogue, I guess. I painted him. I think this is the third time I've painted him.
I want to say I sold one.
One of the other ones. I painted him a long time ago when he first came out, and then I painted another version of him. I think I might have sold him.
I don't know.
Maybe
Batteries.
on a shelf over here somewhere, and I've forgotten about him.
Oh, I painted this guy recently.
And too, he's part of that whole line. This fighter. He actually has a companion that I haven't finished painting. This is I don't know how well this will come out, but he has this companion. You can find it on their website, but it's a rogue working on a lock on a chest, And it was kind of neat. They on the website they have a little story that they wrote about the whole thing, which was really cool. That was probably part of the reason I bought them. Again, though, I like these adventurous style miniatures that they have. I have this guy. Oh, actually, both these guys. This is a halfling. I always think of him as like a halfling ranger. I've painted this guy actually several times. I painted the original metal version. I have another version. I don't know if it's metal or not. It might be. It's actually part of a diorama that I made. And actually, he's part of two dioramas. He's part of like one of the first dioramas I made. And then I made another diorama like a year or so ago. He's part of that. And then I got this guy. When we were playing Dragon, I was running Dragon Slayer last summer, so it's really old school game, and it has, you have it's a game where like in the old school games, a lot of times you wanted to get followers and stuff or henchmen to help you out. So they hired this guy to carry torches for them, and I painted up this guy, and they're all. I say they're of the same line. I could be wrong because they mix. You have like the Dungeon Dweller ones, but then they have the Bones Black. I can keep them straight. But I really like that line. Their characters are really good. And I have more stashed around. I have a bunch of miniatures up here, but I'm trying to see if there's a Reaper.
That might be it. I have.
There's one I'm working on. But I have a bunch over here that need to be
done. More in that line
too. I bought a bunch of them. Yeah, yeah, and I like miniatures that, like those guys that look like adventurers. Um, Sometimes you can get
some, and Reaper has some too.
but they get a little over the top. Like, I like fantasy, but like some guys look like, superheroes coming out of there. They're just missing the big red S on their chest, and I like the ones that look like adventurers. So those guys definitely fit the bill. And I like to paint just for fun more than anything else, but I can imagine like stories around them, like parties. So I like to do that. And a backstory behind them. Maybe someday, some of them wind up in my campaigns or whatever. But if not, it's just a fun mental exercise for me. Yeah, the WizKids minis are tough, man. Like, I have some. I like their monster miniatures because they're, especially if you're looking for like D&D style miniatures, like they obviously look the part, and they're the right scale. Like I said, the Reaper Giants, even though they upscaled them, are still a little short. Although the sculpts are really good. They're character miniatures, man. I've painted a few. Um, I've gotten a few like commission jobs painting them and stuff, and they are tough to paint. They're not a lot for me. They're not a lot of fun to paint. I mean, I'll do it, but they're tough. Yeah, and then the primer that they use, like it's a Vallejo primer, which Vallejo makes great stuff. I use some of their brush on primer, but it's just applied too thick. Like I think it obscures a lot of detail. Um, But some people, like I got one of the guys in my group, he's a miniature painter too, and he's painted up several, and man, he's knocked those things out of the park. I'm always like shocked, and he hasn't been painting. He's only been painting a few years, but he does a really good job of them. He takes a ton of time with them, but he's able to coax some really good detail
Out of them, but they're
not my first choice when I think of character miniatures. Not at all. I showed this one earlier in the beginning of the stream before you were on. This is a miniature from Crooked Dice Games. I think they're
Crooked Miniatures. I should know their name. It's a
Cyclops guy, and he's based on the Cyclops in the movie Krull. They have a lot of movie tie-in miniatures, and Dragon Slayer RPG has a Cyclopsman race that you can play, and it's a throwback to this. So I got this miniature because there ain't a lot of character scale Cyclops men. And I modified this guy. He had a pitchfork in this hand. Oh, you know, so you can actually see him.
He had a pitchfork in
This hand, and I gave him a halberd and a sword on his back. He's going to be a fighter. That's my backup character for my son's going to run Dragon Slayer for us. And then this is my main character. This is a Reaper uh, Bones elf that I painted up. He's not quite done yet though, but I got to get him done because we're playing Thursday. But I should be working on him instead of this dragon. But cool miniature. I've actually painted that one a couple times too. Yeah, I do like their monster miniatures. I like some of their earlier, not the character scale stuff, although I have a bunch of it. Their pre-painted stuff because it's just so easy to get it at
the table.
But their quality is really for their pre-painted stuff has really gone downhill. I mean, it was never like awesome, but it was decent and not bad. And then some of the stuff I've seen is like not good at all, and their pricing is crazy. I remember a couple years ago, he would have in D&D and 5th edition D&D, he would have disadvantage, I would say. In Dragon Slayer, they actually get because it's an OSR game, styled after AD&D, but really trimmed down in the rules. And they get a -2 on all ranged attacks because of that vision, which makes sense. So I originally was thinking about putting a crossbow or something on his back, and I was like, man, that doesn't make any sense. He's not going to bother with that. He's this big, huge Cyclops guy, and with one eye. So like shooting a crossbow is not his thing, but hitting somebody with a halberd or a sword, that's his thing. So yeah, he definitely gets a penalty to that.
Which makes sense. What was that?
See that giant hair? I thought it was down behind me. I was like, what was that?
He's getting attacked by a giant
Spider that was in this basement, I'm sure. Yeah, it was a neat miniature. It was a neat mini.
Easier to modify than
I thought. So he's like I said, not quite done, but he's getting there. But I gotta at least get my elf done for Thursday, so I have him ready. Yeah, I just caught a glimpse of it, so it's probably like Shelob coming through or something. When my
son does not
like spiders, so when we behind me, you can't see it, but behind that curtain is where we play our games. And when we overhauled it one day, my son and I, and he saw all like the cobwebs when we started moving shelving around, and he just went to town with a shop vac. He was not having any of it, so I'll probably due for another cleansing. I'll have to get him on that because he takes great pleasure in
vacuuming up the spiders. So
I'll have to do that.
oh.
What else am I working on? I got tons of stuff on this table. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, I have a player. He doesn't get to play with us very often, but he's actually has arachnophobia, and being the great friend that I am, I use tons of spiders in the games. Like he's
And I have some really
like I have a big collection of spider miniatures. I have some really I don't have it close at hand, but I have one that's like huge. It's really
big. It's from
Steamforge Games, part of their Epic Encounters stuff. Big, huge monster spider. He's awesome. And I have like some terrain that I got that was 3D printed, but it's like these cavern pieces, but they got like spider webs and eggs and stuff on them. Yep, being the great friend I am, I use spiders in the game.
but he takes it well.
He's not that bad, and I like. Everybody's different, I guess. Like I don't like snakes. I hate snakes. Hate them. But like, you can put a snake in a game, and I don't care. Like, I'm not gonna freak out because I realize it's a game, and it can't hurt me. But you know, everybody's different, I guess. He's never like complained and anything. He's just like, oh God. But I know like he told us one day that he had started playing like Skyrim, the video game, and if you've never played that, like there's giant spiders in that game that you have to fight, and like he got to like the first one and like quit, never played it again. Right? Why did it have to be snakes? Yeah. So I mean, for me, it's just like, hey, thanks. Appreciate you stopping in, and hopefully I can get this sound thing worked out.
needed.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to go too fast. Too fast.
Whoops.
It's probably easier to touch up this
Little wing strut here than it is the whole membrane.
I guess. I have to take a break
From this.
this dragon.
Don't want to though.
That's fair. actually get it done.
Been sitting around for a while.
Make some progress.
Kind of been my theme this year is to, I start every year this way though, like trying to just get stuff that's been sitting around for a while painted. I've focused quite a bit on that this year though. But
Finish up the inside of this. This
thing here, just one wing. Let that dry before I start working on the next one. Manhandle the miniature a little bit better. You're gonna have to go back and do some touch-ups.
That's alright.
Blend that area a little bit. Sometimes you make a couple mistakes, but
most times it's not worth
worrying about them. Just go back and fix them.
Yeah, like that one. Illustrate my point. Flip the model like this, so I'm seeing all sorts of spots I missed in there.
First pass through here on the chest scale, so
Guess I should have done this to begin with. Nope, there's the big spot I missed. Making progress, making progress. Use this paint so I don't waste it. Don't waste it.
there we go. This is what we got going on. Just checking things out. This Reaper Bones Dragon. Maybe I should put him on. I might
be ready to put him on his base.
kind of hesitate to
Do
do.
that because it makes it hard to get at the underbelly, but it would make handling him a lot easier, so I'd stop grabbing hold of the miniature itself. Oh,
Getting paint on it. Oh, that's not good.
yeah,
To do that, or at least place it on there and see how
it shakes out. Cause keep manhandling.
the miniature, you run the risk of, like I just did, I got some paint where it doesn't need to be, and you can rub it off.
If your hands get sweaty, or especially this time of year. Pro tip, I don't actually usually bring anything to drink with me when I'm down here. Mostly because I've been painting miniatures for, I don't know, 20-something years, and I've never drank my paint water, which I guess is a common thing. It happens to painters, because they'll have a drink on the table, and then they'll get caught up in the moment or whatever and confuse the two. So I usually never bring anything to drink down here, but the last live stream I did, I didn't have something to drink, and my throat got a little dry because I'm talking. And so I bring stuff, but I leave it on the floor, so I have to reach down to the floor to get it, not this jug.
Which needs to be, God, that needs to be swapped out.
That is bad.
I was looking back here
For
for,
a reason, and
I've completely
I
forgot
what that reason is.
what the hell was I looking for?
Oh, the base. Jeez.
Losing it today, apparently. Jesus, what is that?
So
Let's see.
what I want to do is
Claws,
before I put them in the base.
because I run the risk of screwing up. The base is already painted. Ah, get in there. Has been for a while.
There we go.
Actually, I guess I could just put him in there without gluing it.
For now, because he snaps it.
Yeah, pretty snug, but that's what he looks like. Doing the membrane and his
Chest scales in like this khaki color. I was looking at some official artwork for it. That seemed to be the best fit. I started with something else, but I didn't like it as much. I've done blue dragons with like a paler white thing, which is fine, but I didn't want to do that with this one. So
I went with that.
the other good
Thing about putting him on his
base though is you get to see like what do I need to spend time on, and it isn't really these bottom scales that much because you're not gonna see those. So yeah,
I may put him. I'm going to touch that up. I may put him on this, but I think for now I'm just going to
leave him as he is because
he's actually on there pretty good.
they're pretty good.
So we'll see what comes of that.
I want to get these wing membranes
Blocked in, and then
some lunch, but
take paint apparently.
Jesus. I don't mind.
Getting paint so much on these blue parts here, but I don't want to get them on the back.
Back of the wings because the wings and stuff are for the most part done. So I don't
Trying not to slop.
paint on that like I just did. Just kind of overbrushed it, but
Things happen. Maybe when I do some touch-ups, I'll be able to blend that together. So it looks okay. It's not bad, but not what I wanted to do.
taking a bigger brush.
Trying to get as much area as I can with that because it just applies the paint a lot faster. Then I'll take my detail brush and right up along those
Structure
there. I don't know what to call it. I'll do that, and then
yeah, this just seems to get it done quicker. I get it done before my next game.
only just for the fact
That what I like to do is pictures of stuff I paint.
Send it to my group. And like with this, I don't really have any plans to use this in a game. I'm just trying to get it done because it's been on my table for a while. But
it'll put the fear of God into. Whoa.
dropping the miniatures.
Bad. Try to avoid that as much as possible.
Possible.
I'm gonna say it doesn't happen. Whoa. Get those
Edges and then
all that good for now. It's not really done, but
try some different techniques on the inside because I looked at the official art and it had little spots and stuff.
on the inside. So I kind of like that. So I was trying to think how I could do that.
And I'm thinking I've been experimenting lately with
Like using a sponge for applying like highlights and stuff. So it's still very much in the experiment phase, but I've liked the results for the most part. I did the first miniature I did, and I really liked the results, and it was on wings, so that leads me to believe I can
make this work. Jesus. So I'm gonna try it on.
this thing, I think. I'll try it on this one.
tedious trying to get these.
Edges of this wing membrane. I can go back and fix stuff.
But if I don't have to, it's always a bonus.
Always a bonus if I don't have to do that. Oops. Just put it that way with you. There we go. Hey, let's do that one again. Whoops. There. Let that dry. And we come back to it a little bit later. I think it's lunchtime.
Yeah, I think I'm going to
Do, I don't know. Just for
consistency. I think I'll do these on Tuesdays. Tuesdays is the day I kind of don't have anything
going on a regular basis. So
everybody's, my wife and son are at work, and I'm at home, so place to myself, which is most days, but like I said, it's the only day I don't have anything going on. So
to be consistent, I'll probably do them on Tuesday. So if you got anything out of this, if you watch it afterwards or whatever, I appreciate it. And I'll catch you at the next one. Thanks.